I'm April Thompson. I am the playwright of Good Bread Alley, as well as the producer of this workshop, as well as an actor in the play. Very few people know there was a hurricane in Miami called the Great Hurricane. This play, Good Bread Alley, begins 8 days before the storm. This hurricane wiped out the town as we know it. It left a cholera epidemic in its wake. Of course, all of the wealthy northeastern white families who had summer homes in Miami were gone for the season. So that left Haitian people, Bahamian people, Cuban people, African American people, Gullah people. That opened this window after the storm. And the result was that some black folks came out of that, and some Afro-Latino people were like, oh, well, it's just us. We get to rebuild the town. Let's build it our way. And so in 1926, we have my great-grandmother. And she meets my great-grandfather figure, who is an Afro-Cuban man. This part of Miami is called Colored Town. When you got off the boat as an immigrant, you got sent to Colored Town or you got sent to a white neighborhood based on the way you looked. So what that meant is if you were Cuban and you had a mulatto-looking wife or daughter, they could take your child and give her to somebody else. That's where the play begins. And it is about how my great-grandmother made family, how she learned to fight for her family, this idea of her supporting and being the matriarch of a family all on her own.
Hi, I'm Jessica Blank and I am directing Good Bread Alley by April Thompson. I've really seen this play grow into an incredible historical epic. I think she's working in the tradition of August Wilson here. It's character driven, it's small, it's intimate. This is not a traditional musical. These are just characters for whom music is part of their life. We have an extraordinary team. We have two incredible composers. I really want to see this play brought to life. I'm honored to be a part of it.
So as a kid growing up, I was exposed to all of this amazing music. People walking down the street, singing the gossip of the day, singing a folk song, the ice cream man singing his way to your door in his own language. And I heard an Afro-Cuban woman calling up to the heavens and bursting into dance. Even as a little kid, I understood that celebration, that music, as sacred grace. And we explore that in Good Bread Alley. There will be a tambor, there will be Afro-Cuban music, there will be the rumba. We will see that happen on the stage and we'll see that celebration.
Hi, I'm Ron Simons. I'm the president of Simon Says Entertainment, and we produce plays for the regional, off-Broadway, and Broadway markets, as well as producing independent films. I'm proud to be a producer of Good Bread Alley because it is a piece that explores the rarely explored segment of American history that has this epic historic event as a backdrop and a smart, powerful, passionate, but vulnerable black female at the center. It's multilingual, it's multicultural, it really uses the spirituality, the food, the culture, the dance, the music of a peoples in early Miami 1926. It's an exciting play and I'm happy to be doing it.
It's a piece that takes you to a different realm and a different world, different languages, mystical healing, music, song. It's a very, very moving piece. I mean, there are moments when I was crying, I was laughing, I was shocked. It's a very, very lovely play.
400 years from now, when they open the time capsule and they say, well, who were those brown people at the end of the 21st century? Well, they can't open the time capsule and find a bunch of people bleaching their skin, blonde weaves, and fast cars, and bling bling. That just can't be the story of who we were. Not a race of people who taught America what human rights are, Not a race of people who boldly let their children be burned and beaten by dogs to fight for freedom. Not people who had arrived here on these shores on their knees and were enslaved for 400 years, survived, and then put a black family in the White House. Our story has to be these historic memories of when we were great, when we were broken, when we were challenged beyond anything that we know, when we made poor decisions, and in spite of that, we got up off the floor and we worked for the greater good. That's the history. That's the story of the people I know. That's why I wrote Good Bread Alley. I want to chronicle the magnificence that I know my people to be. And their story is an American story. They made America live up to the promise.
There were no mirrors in my Nana's house, no mirrors in my Nana's.
It was called Good Bread Alley because there was a bread factory nearby. And at 3 a.m., the entire neighborhood would wake up to the smell of fresh baked bread. But the only people who got to have bread were people who could afford to go to the store and buy it.
So what we'd like to do is we'd like to bring that bread home for everybody. So we've launched a $100,000 Kickstarter campaign, and we only get to keep the money if we get to raise all of our money. Now, we've got a lot of great gifts, but I think the best gift and return is being involved in this project that not only excites, it inspires, it's motivating and moving, and it really is, I feel, an important piece of work. So I ask, please give and share on Facebook, email, Twitter, whatever you do in social networking, and help us make some dough so we can make Good Bread Alley. Thanks.
There are no mirrors in my Nana's house, no mirrors in my Nana's house. There are no mirrors in my Nana's house, no mirrors.